Joe Pyfer's controversial outburst. Joe Pyfer has always been a polarizing figure, but nobody expected him to go this far. After being forced to withdraw from his fight against Kelvin Gastelum in Mexico due to illness, Pyfer unleashed a tirade on social media that left fans, and even his fellow fighters, completely stunned. He called Mexico a "hole," vowed never to return, and insisted that anyone offended by his words could, in his own uncensored terms, suck his balls. The harshness of his remarks struck a nerve worldwide, especially among MMA fans who saw his comments as disrespectful and xenophobic. Initially, Pyfer claimed that the illness wasn't his fault. He said he did everything by the book. He trained in a tent to adjust to the elevation, watched his diet meticulously, and kept a rigid regimen that he believed would protect him from any local bugs. But the moment he got sick, he seemed to blame the entire country, fueling a war of words online. Paul Felder's perspective. Paul Felder, known for his thoughtful take on controversies, didn't hold back in his response to Joe Pyfer's meltdown. He quickly pointed out that illness can strike any competitor, at any venue, whether it's Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi, or Mexico City. Insulting an entire country, Felder argued, was a terrible look that brings nothing but negative attention to an already stressful situation. According to him, Pyfer's attitude could tarnish his own reputation among fans, sponsors, and the UFC brass. Felder said he sympathized with Pyfer's disappointment. No fighter wants to train for months only to pull out at the last minute. But the fundamental question remains: who gains anything from lashing out on social media, especially with incendiary language? For Felder, it's a lose-lose scenario. You lose fans who feel disrespected, and you potentially lose goodwill from the UFC, which has grown into a global enterprise. New title fights announced. Not long after the dust began to settle around Pyfer's outburst, UFC President Dana White appeared on social media with two enormous announcements for UFC 316. First, Merab is set to defend his bantamweight title in a highly anticipated rematch against Sean O'Malley, an unexpected twist that has fans divided. Some believe O'Malley, who only defended his belt once before losing it to Merab, doesn't deserve an immediate shot at reclaiming gold. Others think his star power and proven track record make this an inevitable showdown. On the women's side, reigning bantamweight queen Juliana Pena is preparing to put her belt on the line against the formidable Kayla Harrison, a matchup that's also stirring debate. Harrison's name has loomed large for years, and many see her as one of the greatest threats to any champion in the division. With both these title fights set to headline a single card, you can almost feel the electricity in the air. Tickets go on sale April 18th, and if these early indicators are correct, it might be one of the biggest events of the year. The main event shuffle. The UFC had originally slated Jamal Hill to face Khalil Rountree in the main event of UFC Kansas City, but fate had other plans. News came out that Hill sustained an injury severe enough to force him out of the fight. Fans quickly turned to social media, throwing around speculation about how this could impact the entire card. Would the UFC find a quick replacement? Would the entire event collapse? As it turns out, the show must go on, and it will. Ian Gary, a rising star with a reputation for stepping up on short notice, found himself in the headliner against Carlos Prates. This marks Gary's second consecutive short notice bout, following his last-minute acceptance of a fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Though Gary ultimately lost that one by unanimous decision, his willingness to jump back into the fire has earned him a loyal fan base. UFC's partnership with Meta. UFC and Meta just signed a massive long-term partnership. Those were the words Dana White dropped like a bombshell on social media. The deal designates Meta as the UFC's official fan technology partner, opening the door for a wave of advanced tools powered by AI, virtual reality, and beyond. One of the first projects on the horizon is a brand new fighter ranking system, set to debut later this year. White couldn't contain his excitement, emphasizing how Meta plans to leverage its suite of platforms – Facebook, Instagram, Threads, WhatsApp, and even futuristic AI tech – to bring fans closer to the action. Imagine AI-driven analytics that rank fighters not just on wins and losses, but on real-time data like strike accuracy, takedown defense, and intangible fan sentiment. The possibilities are endless, and while some fans are thrilled about the potential for more transparency, others worry it could transform the sport into a tech-driven spectacle. Kamaru Usman's uphill battle. While the UFC is busy charting out a tech-savvy future, a longtime powerhouse is struggling to keep his career afloat. Kamaru Usman, once considered one of the most dominant welterweights on the planet, is now 37 years old and on a 3-fight losing streak. To make matters worse, rumors of chronic injuries, especially concerning his knees, have followed him for years, sometimes to the point where fans whisper he has to walk downstairs backwards. Whether that's fact or fiction, hardly matters if injuries genuinely hamper his mobility. Robert Whittaker, another top-tier fighter with extensive championship experience, recently weighed in on Usman's predicament. From Whittaker's vantage point, the weight of age combined with lingering physical setbacks could make it nearly impossible for Usman to fend off the younger, hungrier challengers roaring up the ranks. Darren Till and Mike Perry's ongoing saga. As if the MMA world wasn't already brimming with tension, Darren Till and Mike Perry have revived a rivalry that refuses to die. Perry recently appeared on a popular MMA show, claiming that Till turned down a whopping $2 million offer for a bare-knuckle fight. According to Perry, the numbers were on the table, but Till supposedly backed out, only to box Anthony Taylor for a fraction of that amount. Till immediately countered, saying he never rejected a big-money matchup. Instead, he proposed a 2-fight deal, one in boxing, one in bare-knuckle. He accused Perry of avoiding negotiations and focusing more on his newfound role as a promoter than as an active fighter. Till also pointed out how several other high-profile names, KSI, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, seem unwilling to face him, adding extra spice to the narrative that he's being ducked left and right. Muscle feats and Dana White backlash. If dramatic call-outs and signings weren't enough, we also have some entertaining moments to lighten, or maybe intensify, the mood. Michelle Pereira was recently filmed deadlifting over 500 pounds for repetitions, showcasing power that many fighters would envy. Meanwhile, Sean Strickland attempted to do the same and couldn't budge the bar from the ground. While it's all in good fun, footage like this stirs debates about functional strength versus raw gym strength, and how these factors translate, or don't translate, to real fighting scenarios. Fans love to see what their favorite athletes can do outside the cage, and the playful rivalry between these two only boosts engagement. On a more serious note, Dana White is facing a wave of criticism for granting an immediate rematch to a fighter many fans say doesn't deserve it.